Hello everyone, this is Vanaja from St. Martin's Engineering College, working as a assistant professor from CSE department. Now we are discussing about the CPU scheduling algorithms in operating system. Before CPU scheduling algorithms, we have to just introduce the operating system. Operating system is nothing but interaction between the user to the system. This is provide the which programmer enter the input for request for the inputs, the system will be give the result through the operating system. Now we have to discuss about the CPU scheduling. This is CPU scheduling is nothing but the scheduler which take care of which processor will going to the first into the ready queue for the execution. In single process operating system, in single program operating system, the process will be the only single program will be the executed at a time. But in multi-programming operating system, the multiple processors or multiple programmers are run or executed at a time. In this system, in single operating system, the CPU will be the utilized by the only one programming processor. But in operating system, we have to maintain the priority of the schedulers to the processor. In this, we have to calculate the some IO and CPU bus times. This CPU IO bus time means this is the CPU cycle means CPU bus time is nothing but the which process is executing in the first in the ready queue. Suppose there are P1 and P2. There is two processor P1 and P2. In single programming operating system, first P1 enter into the ready queue, then executed to first. Then only the P1 enter into the ready queue, because the P2 wait until P1 process is completion. Because in this operating system, only one program will be the run in the CPU. But in operating system, we have to maintain the, suppose we have P1, P2, P3, P4 processor execute at a time. In the given time, these four processes are executed. But this is will take in single process operating system. This is the not possible. In multi operating system, it is possible. Using with the CPU scheduling. In single process unit, we have the processes are the executed one by one. Which process will enter into the CPU, then that process will be the first executed. Then when it is terminated, then other process will be the enter into the CPU. In multi-programming operating system, in this we have to maintain these four processors into the at a time using the CPU scheduling algorithms. Okay, this is in this IO cycle, CPU IO and CPU bus cycle. Suppose in this we have the four processors. In this we have to first P1 enter into the queue and it is ready to running. Means it is ready to execute the program. In this we have to first P1 enter into the running, then remaining processors P1, P2, P3 and we are waiting. P1 is running state and P2, P3, P4 are in waiting state. This cycle is called the CPU IO burst cycle. When one process is running in the CPU, other remaining processes are waiting in the queue, that is called the CPU IO burst cycle. In this we have the different types of CPU scheduling algorithms. In this we have the different CPU scheduling algorithms in operating system. Before that we have the basis is the preemptive and non-preemptive algorithms. Preemptive means when the process is in CPU scheduling, in CPU IO scheduling. When one process is in waiting process, another process is in running, that is the preempting. The time of the CPU IO unit and CPU cycle and IO request waiting process. This is called the CPU. The preemptive algorithm is scheduling algorithm is to provide the which processes enter into the first into the queue and ready for the execution. In next non-preemptive, this is for example. In example we have the 4 processor P0, P1, P2, P3. In this the arrival time means which processor enter into the first. It's 0 time. This is the Gantt chart for this example. Suppose the arrival time of the processor P2 is the 0. When we have running the process, the arrival time is starting with the 0, ending with the completion of all programs, all processes. In this, when the 0th position, the P2 process is waiting. Then that P2 process is coming to the queue and it is ready to execution. It is under execution. Okay. Then after completion of P2, then what is the next arrival time is P1. That is enter into the queue. But in this preemptive scheduling, the P1 is waiting for the, because P2 is the CPU burst time is 6. Okay. In this 6, the P2 completion time is not done at the timeout, because only P2 have the up to 1 position. The P2 process is not completed. That's why the next 1 to 5 means the 5th position, 6th position, 5th position of the arrival time is the P3, because in this we have to enter the completion time of the 4 means 1 plus 4 is the completion time of the P3. Then the P3 is the enter into the queue. After the latter we have to same theory about the P0, P2 and P3. Next, non-preemptive. In non-preemptive cycle, one process executed, then only another cycle will be the enter into the queue. In preemptive, the one cycle is executed. If that process is waiting for the IO waiting, then other processes enter into that queue. In preemptive, non-preemptive. In non-preemptive, suppose P1 and P2 is in the process ready to for the execution. In primitive, P1 under execution, P1 under execution, then P2, when P1 is in under execution, when P2 is waiting until the completion of the P1. If the P1 is under execution, if it is need the IO input or any input request, it is waiting for that requesting resources are acquiring. On that time, in the waiting list, we have to P2 process. The P2 process enter into the queue and it will be the executed first. Then after that, P1 is the, again it will be the enter into the queue. It is the complete execution. But in non-preemptive, if you have the P1, P2 executions, In non-preemptive P1 and P2, if enter the P1 the first into the execution, enter into the first into the execution until unless if it is go for IO request, until that the P2 will the completion of P1 execution. If it is go for IO request, up to that IO request is will the acquired. After then P1 completion its execution, then only P2 enter into the queue and it will be the executed. In non-preemptive, it will be the under execution, it is request for the IO units, then it will be wait and P2 enter into the queue. This is the preemptive and non-preemptive scheduling basis. There are different types of scheduling algorithms. There are different types of scheduling algorithm. This scheduling is means the process, which process enter into the first into the queue, and another process, which process enter into the queue and ready to the running, which process in waiting process. In this we have the different types of algorithms based on the CPU scheduling criteria. Because criteria means CPU utilization. CPU utilization means the which use of the CPUs under the with the 100% utilization of CPU for the processor. Throughput means which number of process completed within the given time, that process number is called the throughput. Turnaround time is arrival time of the process and completion time of the process, the time period of arrival time and completion time of the processor. Waiting time means how much wait time of the process is considered as a waiting time. Responsive time means it is enter into the queue, it is ready for the queue, the time is called the responsive time. In this we have the different type of, in this scheduling criteria we have to maximize the CPU utilization and throughput. Means we have to use the processors with the maximum time, the 100% utilization of CPU. And throughput means which number of, how many number of CPUs are entering to the CPU, that number of processors will be the maximum uses of the CPU. That maximum use of the throughput and maximum usage of the CPU utilization. We have to minimize the term around the time, means the execution of time will be the minimize the time, and waiting time also, the process of waiting time also minimize in the scheduling. Next, response time also we have to minimize the response time, waiting time, and through time around time of the process in the execution of process. Next, we have the different types of algorithms, that are the first come first serve, shortest jobs first, priority scheduling, and round robin scheduling, and multiple process scheduling. Okay, these are the scheduling: round robin, SJF means shortest job first, priority, multi-level queue, SRT, and FCFS, first come first serve scheduling algorithms. In this first come first serve scheduling algorithm, we have to maintain the FIFO, means first in first out, means which process enter into the first into the ready queue, that process will be the executed first and terminated first, then only the process P2 will be the entered into the queue, that will be the executed. In this we have to see here, in this first, suppose we have to P1, P2, P3 are enter into the queue. When we have first enter the P3, then it will get the CPU and executed first, it is terminated. Then only P2 enter into the queue. This is the first serve, mean which process will be enter into the first, that process will be the executed first P3 will be the enter into the first, then the process P3 will be the enter into the queue first and executed the first. In this suppose we have to some queue of members in the entering to the room at the door. In this we have the queue. First 5 members, 6 members are there in the queue. Then the first will be the enter into the room, and then only the second person will be the enter into the queue. Then third person will be the enter into the queue. Up to that 5th person enter into the queue. This list will be the enter into the first one will be the head of the queue into the queue.
Nobody is allowed to take the chance until his chance arrives. So let's say that there are some.
Okay, as now we have telling that FCFS means first in, first out. In this we have to take the 6 members at the door enter into the class. In that we have the first person will be the enter into the class into the first, and next person will be enter into the after this person enter into the class, then only the second person will be the enter into the class. In this we have to first move the first into the second into the class, then only we have to the last one. This process will be the enter into the queue. The first one will be the enter into the hand పెడితే
So
మళ్ళీ ఫస్ట్ నుంచి అయ్యో ఓకే చేయి టచ్ చేస్తే వస్తుందా ఓకే ఓకే. In this we have to first, as we now tell us, FE, FO, first in, first out. When the 3 or 4 persons in the waiting in the at the door side, first person enter into the class or any room into that, then only the second person will be the enter into the queue. In this we have to first waiting person only first into the room, and that person only after completion, that person only first outside from the room. In this with the first person the enter the last person only after completion of the 4 members enter into the room, only that last person enter into the room. In this we have to these are ready to queue with the first person enter into the queue with the head, and last person will be the into the tail of the queue, because the head of the queue only the first person we have to enter into the room. As like the process is also first process enter into the queue, that process only executed, then the process will be terminated, then only other process will be the enter into the queue, ready queue. But in this FCFS it is suffer from the convey effect. The convey effect means the long waiting process will be the in ready queue are running the process. In that the small waiting time or small burst times also waiting until the process terminated, because the time of the first process will be the take the long time, because they have the burst time as the completion time is the more. If it is shortest job in the queue, that are the long waiting process. This is cause to the starvation. See here, in this signal we have the some members waiting in the cross the road. In that we have the some person, it is waiting in the first, he is in the first row, he is not moved to any side, either right or either left. The remaining all are waiting in the queue only until this person will be moved from there. Okay, in this some advantages or some disadvantages in the FCFS. Advantages are it is easy to perform the CPU, easy to perform the process in the CPU scheduling, and it is FIFO queue approach, means it is the first in first serve, which process is first enter into the queue, that process will be executed and it will be the terminated first. Then only after that only the process, second processor enter into the queue, the processor will be the terminated next until the processor completed all processes at a time. Next, disadvantage means it is suffer from the convey effect. Convey effect means the longest waiting time of the process will be the running in the queue. Okay. Next, some example, we have some processes. Suppose there is P1 process ID, P1, P2, P3, P4 and P5. These are the 5 processors. The arrival time of these processes are 2, 3, 0, 1 and 4. Completion time of completion or burst. Completion or burst time of these processes are completion or burst time of the processes are, suppose this is 4, this is 5, this is 2, 3, this is 2, this is 6. Okay, from this we have to these processor. Suppose we have to enter to the arrival time is, first one is the okay, this is the 0 is the 0th arrival time. The 0 arrival time we have to process 3. Then the process 3 is enter into the queue. This is ready for the execution. The process burst time of the process 3 is the 3, 0 to 3. Up to 0 to 3 milliseconds the process will be the executed in the queue. This is the completion of the process P3 in the execution. Because in FIFO, after termination of the first process only, then enter the second process. The arrival of one is P4. But in this we have to 0, 1, 2 and 3 will be executed the P3 only, because the FIFO is the basis is the FIFO. First completion of the process 3 only, then we will enter the P4. Then after completion of P3, we have to enter the P4. The P4 of completion time is 2, means 3 plus 2, 5. Total completion of P4 processor, that is the completion time is 5. Next, arrival time of 2 is P1. Then P1 is enter into the queue. The completion time of P1 is 4. 5 plus 4, 9. The completion of process P1 is 9. Next, after 2, third one is the P2. The P2 enter into the queue and it is executed until the completion of the P2 is 5. 9 plus 5, it is 14. From 9th slot to 14th slot, as time slots, the P2 will be the executed. Next, last one is the P5. The priority is, the arrival time is 4th. But in this, until completion of the process only, we have to enter the queue into the next one. This is the 4th one. P4 completion time is 6. 14 plus 6, 20. The total completion of these processes are total burst time of these processors are 20. Okay, because the arrival time is 0 and completion time of the all processes are 20. The average burst time of these processes are 0 2 average burst time is 0 plus 2 0 plus 2, the completion is 3, 0 plus 3 plus 5 plus 9 14 and 20. Total processes are 5. Okay, the average time will be the calculated total completion time of burst time of the processor. This is the FIFO. FIFO means the first serve, first come, first serve. Which processor enter into the ready queue, then it is complete the execution and it is enter into the terminated, then other one is the enter into the queue. This is the turnaround time, and for the example only we have to, before only we have explained this, the calculation of average completion time and burst time and waiting time. Next one is the shortest job first CPU scheduling algorithm. In this shortest job first scheduling algorithm, we have the which burst time is the least, that process will be the enter into the queue, it is ready to the execution. Suppose there is P1 with burst time 3, P2 burst time 4, P3 burst time 1. Then the process enter into the P3 will be the first enter into the queue and it is continue for the execution of the program. After completion of this execution, then only other program will be the enter. Other program also, the which burst time is least, that process only enter into the queue. This is the shortest job first CPU scheduling algorithm. Okay, which burst time is least, that is the enter into the queue, that will be the executed first. Okay, in this queue we have to, when it is running, that will be the enter into the queue, that will, if it is request to the IO processor, then it is waiting state, then only it is entering, it is terminated, it is entering to the waiting state. After that it is completed, it is execution. Other least burst time will be the enter into the queue, then it is running. Okay, in this shortest job first scheduling, the least burst time will be the enter into the queue, that will be the executed first, then only the next one will be the entered into the class. In this we have to enter the some process are ready to running, that are enter into the queue. These are entered with the, are acquire the CPU with the least burning time, then only the process will be the executed. Okay, in this we have the, it is very easy to implement and it is more efficient for the CPU scheduling, because if longest burst time will be the enter into the first, the remaining short burst or least burst time will be the longest waiting process. But in this we have to, shortest will be the first, will be the, done will be the first, it is easy to enter, the longest will be the time taken, it is no problem because there is no waiting process in that among them. Okay, the advantage of this one is the least average time of the waiting time and least burst time. Okay, disadvantage is the, it is the obey the executing negative tricks of the CPU scheduling algorithm. Okay, in this session we have to discussing about the CPU scheduling algorithm with the CPU schedulers. Thank you everyone.